Six Flags is the biggest amusement park chain in the United States and possibly the world. With 15 amusement parks, it has a ton of roller coasters and world-class amusement parks. What does the future hold for this chain? These are the next coasters coming to each Six Flags park. Just something to note before we get started, Six Flags loves to clone their coasters, so these are easier predictions than the Cedar Fair video. Also, this is a prediction video, as I do not know the future. With that said, let's jump into the predictions. The first and smallest park is the Great Escape, located near Albany, New York. Six Flags never expands much in this park. The park is not known for its thrilling flats or coasters, and is mainly known for its water park. If Six Flags were to do anything here, I think it would probably be an S&S 4D free spin coaster. Six Flags loves these types of coasters, as they are at most parks in the chain. This would be the only one within a few hours, so it would be quite unique, and it would probably be the most thrilling coaster at the park. The second out of 15 parks is located in Oklahoma City and is called Frontier City. I don't see this park getting anything in the future. Basically, what Six Flags loves to do is place a bunch of small cloned coasters in their smaller parks. Frontier City is no different. I also see this park getting an S&S 4D free spin. Just like Great Escape, it would be unique for the area, and it would be the most thrilling coaster in the park. Located in Montreal, Canada, is a park that most coaster enthusiasts hate with a fiery passion. Ronde is located right in the middle of the St. Lawrence River, which is a beautiful location, but also a bad location for a park due to how landlocked it is. The next coaster I could see to this park is an RMC hybrid. Wow, something different than a free spin. This is because in 2021, Ronde is getting V-Pair, the relocated version of Green Lantern from Magic Mountain. This RMC would definitely be replacing Le Monster, the giant wooden coaster that barely ever operates. This coaster would be a bigger crowd pleaser than the Rough Monster. This RMC would be very unique to the area, the closest being way down in Massachusetts, and it would be a dueling RMC, similar to the crowd pleaser Twisted Colossus. It would be a huge hit for the park if RMC can finally get working in Canada. If this can't happen, GCI could use their Titan track on Monster for a slightly altered layout. This Maryland park is actually quite easy to predict. Six Flags America I could see getting two types of coasters, and I think one of them is more likely. My first prediction is an RMC conversion of Roar. Six Flags loves RMC, and is slowly changing most of their old Woodies into hybrids. Roar is one of the last remaining, and it is rough and forceless, so it would be a perfect candidate for a conversion. This would also be different enough from Twisted Timbers just a few hours down the road, because this would be a twister layout, while Twisted Timbers is a out and back layout. The other prediction I had was an S&S 4D free spin, but King's Dominion is getting one soon. That park is very close to Six Flags America, so that just wouldn't make sense. I think that the RMC conversion would make more sense. This might be the hardest park to predict in the video. Six Flags Mexico and Mexico City has a free spin, SLC, RMC, boomerang, and a spinner, which are most of Six Flags cloned coasters. What they don't have is a wooden coaster, so that is exactly what I am thinking. Six Flags seems to be getting back with GCI, so a GCI wooden coaster that is compact, similar to Thunderhead, would be perfect at this park. GCIs are always a crowd pleaser for every type of guest, and it would be unique to Mexico. Rides like these provide all of the forces into one experience, and would provide an intense experience that could rival Medusa. Six Flags Darien Lake is located in the middle of nowhere, and is another easy park to predict. There are two options I see here. The first option is, of course, an S&S 4D free spin. Again, it would be unique to the area and add a thrill to Darien Lake, because they do not have anything remotely like it. But the more likely option is a makeover of Predator. This can be done in two ways. The first way would be the renovation from GCI with their brand new Titan track. The other way would be using the reliable RMC in their iBox track. Predator is not a great coaster. It's boring and way too rough to enjoy. An RMC would be, once again, unique to the area, and would provide ejector airtime and whippy elements, which are sensations Darien is missing. This is a bit of a weird park. Discovery Kingdom in San Francisco is getting a coaster, I think. No construction has started, and there has been no confirmation that this ride is still coming. This coaster would have been Sidewinder Safari, a spinning wild mouse. My prediction is that Discovery Kingdom will get this, because they desperately need a family coaster. If they don't get this ride, they will still need another family coaster. That's why I predict they will get a small gravity group shuttle coaster like Switchback. This is because they do not have a lot of space, and they also need a wooden coaster. It would be a perfect fit. Six Flags St. Louis in St. Louis is one of the easiest parks to predict. And before everyone starts yelling RMC Boss, that isn't happening, because recently they revamped the layout and changed the ending to a more comfortable experience. So they will not RMC that, otherwise it would have been a waste of money. My first prediction is, guess what it is? An SNS 4D free spin. Why? Well, the reasons I've been giving. Unique and thrilling. But the more likely prediction is an RMC Raptor clone like Railblazer and Wonder Woman, because it would fit in this plot of land and provide sensations that St. Louis is lacking. These are ejector airtime and snappy transitions. This park is very similar to Darien in what it needs. This is probably the hardest park to predict for the future. Six Flags Over Texas is receiving Aquaman Power Splash, which filled the big gap in their lineup, so now it is very difficult to predict. They basically have everything they need, except for one thing, and that is a better wooden coaster. Their only wooden coaster is Judge Roy Scream, which is a pretty bad out-and-back wooden. This is why I am predicting a GCI wooden coaster. This would provide some whippy transitions, because even though New Texas Giant has some, there aren't a lot. This wooden coaster will be similar to American Thunder or Thunderhead, will fill the last gap in this park's lineup. Six Flags New England is another easy park to predict. Last year I predicted that they would get a Skyrocket 2, but I completely forgot that the nearby Lake Comet Pounce has a Skyrocket 2, so that was an awful prediction. A better prediction would be the one I am making now, which is an SNS Air Launch Coaster. This ride would be similar to Max Force and would fit perfectly in the park. The one type of coaster Six Flags New England is missing is a launch coaster, so a Max Force type coaster would definitely fill this gap. Fiesta, Texas in San Antonio is Six Flags' testing ground. Whenever there is a new model Six Flags needs a test, Six Flags places it here, just like what they did with Wonder Woman. So I predict that Fiesta, Texas will be the first park to ever to get an Axis coaster. The Axis coaster will be the first of its kind and will be one of the most thrilling and unique coasters. And placed in one of the biggest cities, it'll bring a lot of guests to the park. Six Flags Over Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, is in desperate need of a launch coaster. Currently, the park has a good airtime-packed ride, intense coaster, and a whippy ride. The only necessity left is a launch coaster. The question is, what type of launch coaster Over Georgia could get? I think that a Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 is a possibility. It would be a unique coaster as Over Georgia doesn't have a shuttle coaster, the nearest being at Carowinds. Also, it would provide the launch this park needs. The other possibility is a custom layout from either SNS or Premier, like Max Force or Full Throttle. The more likely is the SNS, because it is more compact, so it wouldn't use as much space. I still think the Skyrocket 2 would be a better fit, though. This is a bit of a harder park to predict. Six Flags Great Adventure only has one necessary ride, which is a hang time filled coaster. I would say Mach rides, but Six Flags isn't really working with Mach right now, so I think that a coaster like Full Throttle would be great. Even a similar layout would be wonderful, because a lack in Great Adventure's lineup is a shuttle coaster. The nearest one would be at Hershey Park with Sidewinder. A Full Throttle type coaster has the swing launch, which would be great for Great Adventure. While the capacity isn't the best, it is better than one of my other predictions, a Skyrocket 2, and it has more than one train. A Full Throttle type ride has a ton of hang time, which would also be perfect for Great Adventure. Six Flags Great America in Chicago might be the most difficult park to predict. This park has basically everything in a good coaster lineup. If I had to make a prediction, I would say a new family coaster would be good here, as the park has been expanding in the thrill category a lot recently. In just this past decade, the park added X-Flight, Goliath, Joker, and Max Force. As for what, I could see a Gravity Group wooden coaster like Kentucky Flyer would be great. Even a wooden shuttle coaster would make sense, because V2 has been rumored to be leaving for a while now, and that is the only shuttle coaster here. A new and unique one would bring a lot more people to the park, and it would have more than one train for better operations. Six Flags Magic Mountain is the biggest Six Flags park, and it might be the easiest to predict. For a few months now, Magic Mountain in Los Angeles has been going through construction by Riddler's Revenge. There were also plans, rumors, and information released about an RMC Raptor roller coaster. This is almost confirmed at this point, so my prediction is an RMC Raptor that will be a near clone of Jersey Devil. Except I'm not sure the capacity would be great for a park this size. It would almost be better if it were a T-Rex in a few years. But if Great Adventure can have a Raptor, so can Magic Mountain, so I guess it makes sense. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below what you think Six Flags parks will add in the future, and email me with questions or concerns. Also, comment down below if you are going to Kings Island and Cedar Point opening days. If you are, I hope to see some of you there. Have a great rest of your day.